Bundaberg Run Rugby Series is proudly brought to you by Bundaberg Rum, Vodafone, Colonial First State Investments, and Philips Widescreen TV.
Maybe the greatest game ever played.
That's a gift by point for New Zealand. Lomu, here they go again. And another try coming up here for New Zealand. Alatini. They're finding some great gaps. Alatini again. And a third try to Cullen. It's raining tries here.
You know, we do it for all New Zealand, and we really mean that every time we pull a jersey on. We're doing it for our country.
He's away! That's a great request for the Wallabies. Here it is! Mortlock! He gets his second.
Even in defeat, it was impossible to feel disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you can hope to see a better game of rugby than that, but that doesn't make it any easier to lose.
110,000 came and saw and revelled in the experience of knowing history was being made before their very eyes.
Australia now, Kafer, there it is!
Two Leviathans, punching, counter-punching, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the rugby world.
Randall and Lomu, can he do it? Larkham! Lomu has won the game surely for New Zealand.
The Wallabies, driven by desire for revenge for their humiliation in the mud on a cold, wet day here in Wellington 5 years ago. The All Blacks, driven by desire to keep the faith with the true believers. Australia and New Zealand for the Bledisloe Cup, the decider.
First team out, of course, will be the visiting side, the Wallabies.
So this is the mental stage for these players, focused precisely on their obligations, their responsibilities. That's all they're thinking about at the moment. They're unaware of the stadium, the crowd, just concentrating on their game, what they have to do. Well, that guy's in the wrong country, isn't he?
The brilliant playmaker for the Australians, George Gregan, outstanding individual. A stable Wallaby squad means that coach Rod McQueen is able to field the same starting 15 that played in Sydney 3 weeks ago. The world champions have retained Jim Williams at number 8 in the face of a strong challenge from Tarawa Kefu. And for some of these players, it's their last battle against the old enemy. David Wilson, Jason Little and Richard Harry moving on at the end of the international season. Australia led today by their great lock forward, John Eales. A real depth too on the bench, with Jeremy Paul certain to get half a game. Tarawa Kefu to make a big impact as well. And now, the moment that all of these fans, or most of them anyway, at the Westpac Trust Stadium have waited for. Starting lineup of Alama Iramia and Norm Maxwell are the features of the All Blacks side. Both were key players in Sydney 3 weeks ago. Not surprisingly, Josh Kronfeld starts in this test after not making the starting 15 in Sydney. And his clash with Wilson will be a key. A number of these players are rapidly approaching records, most notably Andrew Mertens, poised to become New Zealand's highest point scorer in tests. And the All Blacks led for the first time in a Wellington test by Todd Blackadder. And the key change on the bench, the return of Reuben Thorne at the expense of Canterbury teammate Scott Robertson. Plenty of intensity there from Case Muse. Steve Larkham, such a key man. George Gregan too, in association with Larkham. Wonderful combination. Daniel Herbert in midfield. It's going to be tough out there. There won't be too many gaps, one wouldn't imagine. Tremendous excitement around the stadium. The Bledisloe Cup is at stake this afternoon as Jonathan Kaplan checks with the respective skippers.
Your own time after the whistle. Your own time after the whistle.
First international match at the new stadium in Wellington is underway, and Andrew Mertens gets an early touch for Eremia. The strong take it up man, and immediately the Wallabies dive over the top. Marshall to go quickly. Case Muse. Marshall hands it off. Mertens saw the gap. Dragged down by David Giffen and number 4. All Blacks keeping it in hand. Blackadder feeds it to Marshall, taking on the Australian defence early in the match as they did in Sydney. They've reached the 10-metre line. Heaved out by Lomu. Mertens puts his boot to it. Latham's got a lot of ground to make. Umaga closing the angle right down. Mertens again, wide to Randall. Solid defence by the Wallabies, and it's a post tackle quickly in. So the first stoppage comes with a scrum and a minute for the first sequence of play.
Well, it's been an emphatic start by New Zealand. Confident also, very, very comfortable with the ball in hand, setting up the ruck, controlling possession. Clever kick from Mertens, and well answered, of course, by Latham.
Straight one-on-one as Umaga goes past Roth. Picked up, though, by the loose forward defence. Mertens working wide for Alatini. Larkham has to make the tackle in midfield. The All Blacks have had all the ball so far. Marshall probing in close. And here is the first turnover as it's knocked forwards. And it'll be Wallabies ball right on halfway.
So this will be interesting to see what the Australians do from the first scrum. Will they work the short side? Interesting, isn't it? Equal weight per pack. The loose forwards are identical at 110 kgs apiece.
Gregan for Larkham. Herbert, clean break, feeds it up, and Mortlock is chased by Umaga. He'll make it though. Daniel Herbert opened them up wide. Sterling Mortlock scores.
What a blistering and acceptable try by Australia. Fantastic to make the break so early. So early. It was a strength in the first test at Homebush. Have a look at that. The dummy and the gap open. There was no loose forward in the hole. Marshall missed Marshall. Threw the pass beautifully. And Sterling Mortlock only just enough speed to escape the clutches of Umaga from behind. This will be a great view, Glad.
Yes, it's the inside defence of the All Blacks was found wanting again. Mertens drifted wide, but Kronfeld and Marshall need to get across a little bit quicker. Well exposed by that strength of Herbert there in midfield.
It was the All Blacks who started with the rush in Sydney. The Wallabies, with their first possession of the game, have scored the try. And Mortlock to add the extra 2, 7-0.
Quite outstanding, really, Grant. It was well spotted. The first time they touched the ball, they've scored a try, and we see it again. So comfortably beat the defence, cleverly too. Nothing accidental about that. Almost a set move.
All Blacks had all the ball early, but it was in their own half. Now then to Wallaby territory with Steve Larkham. And a powerful clearance from inside the 22 takes it back to halfway. Wallabies have not been a good first half team throughout this season, but they couldn't ask for a better start than that.
Well, we've heard that they were desperate to win this game today, to straighten up the show after losing narrowly at Homebush. I sense a great game on our hands here today. Ron Cribb, the new athlete at number 8 for New Zealand.
Short to Blackadder. He's got Marshall. Doesn't need him at the moment. Almost to the 22. Now it's Andrew Mertens. Gets it back. They're all in there, but it's been stolen away. The pass didn't go as far as Lomu. And the Wallabies back in possession. There it is for Gregan. Larkham for the second time putting his boot to it. Oliver getting back.
Well, Larkham, Stephen Larkham, he's a great player. The alchemist of the Australian backline without doubt. Blackadder from the front, backed himself and set it up. New Zealand in a good attacking position here.
Number 19, you can see him in there, Tara Kefu. Heading towards the back where Cribber's safe again for Blackadder, who's had a couple of storming runs to get this game underway. Taken in by Josh Kronfeld, driven back by Richard Harry. Now Alatini slips it to Eremia. Big defence by the Wallabies in midfield. Mertens. Kronfeld, quick hands. Oliver wasn't expecting it. And knocked on by Joe Roth.
Well, I don't know. I think Oliver was expecting it, but it was just so quickly passed to him. It was very well worked, I thought. They came back to short side again. They plugged one way, and it was blocked on the open side. So Mertens making the decision, and that's what he's there for, a decision-making at first 5'8". Well, the All Blacks very confident to move the ball from anywhere. They have to, in my opinion.
Marshall running straight at Larkham. All Blacks using Blackadder at halfback. Eremia. Still inside their own 22. Alatini. Cullen gets an early touch. Again, the ball knocked down, and it's knocked forward by Richard Harry. This is high-risk stuff from the All Blacks inside their 22.
I'd say rather precarious, really. Cullen running across field and passing the same direction as the defence was drifting. That's a setup for an intercept, and so near. However, I believe the attitude to be the correct one. Utilisation of possession. You've got to back yourself, and this team is. You don't win against the best side in the world if you don't back your talents.
Mertens running. Umaga had support, couldn't deliver to Kronfeld on the inside. Now Marshall sets them going with Oliver. Alatini. Game being played at terrific speed. Kronfeld rather loose to Lomu, tries to hand off. Mortlock does so, and they finally get to him, but it took three of them.
Well, it was disappointing for Jonah, I guess, to get the ball on a couple of opponents at the same time, but as usual he made yardage. It was well tackled, well covered by Australia. Once again, New Zealand comfortable with possession, a series of it. Well, Anton Oliver playing with panache at first 5'8".
Michael Foley. David Giffen easily. Foley takes the return ball. Gregan across now to Jason Little. Playing in his last test match today against the All Blacks. Larkham feeds it up to Latham. Room for Mortlock. Might have been hit late. Let's wait and see. It's still live. Now if this bounces back, Latham, oh dear.
Well, he's always been an expressive player, Latham. The dive was in vain for sure. It looked like it was. However, we're coming back for something. Have a little look here. It was the kick through which gave Latham an opportunity. And was it called a late tackle? A late charge, perhaps?
Forlorn dive by Chris Latham. Now the All Blacks had a choice here. They could either have the 22 or go to the scrum, where Latham put his boot to it. Cribb again. Chance to get some steam up this time. Good charge by the big number 8. Marshall, good hands from Maxwell inside to Tane Randall. Still playing the high-risk rugby near their own 22 as Eremia takes it in. Wallabies fanned out as Anton Oliver
Well, that's why it's high-risk rugby, because it's inside territory. One mistake like that, support a little bit too slow perhaps, a player holding onto the ball on the ground, and that concedes a penalty. Look at that though, 74% possession. That's significant in comparison to the previous match against Australia. So it was a fair penalty, a fair cop. And Sterling Mortlock, he's an interesting character. I think there's a big question mark whether he can front under pressure, this man. We saw that in the Super 12 final where he cracked. However, at Homebush he did everything that was asked. He's already started the day with a penalty very close to the sticks, which will have given him confidence. Sometimes kickers only need to kick the first one.
Well, it really was a dreadful kick. Way to the left.
He dragged it, didn't he? He dragged it left.
Mertens downtown with a long one. Chris Latham in position. They'll meet him about halfway. And he's isolated too, Latham, well and truly. But they get to him pretty smartly.
Last line.
Therefore, Gregan to free up to Larkham. The All Blacks are offside. And I think it was Maxwell who was standing far too flat. Yep, number 5, Norman Maxwell.
Just up perhaps in front of the last man's feet. There it is, you can see it. Yes, probably. Well, it was touch and go. Anyway, it's a point scoring opportunity or a kick for touch, which they've opted for. Retaining the throw. And basically be able to call the tune from this line out. So we've got, what is this, a 4-man line out? So lessens the opportunity, of course, for obstruction or competition perhaps. And maybe utilising the big forwards in midfield.
Giffen again. Gregan for Mortlock. The try scorer so far in the game. Taken in by David Wilson. Jim Williams, who was such a dominant figure in the Sydney Test. Slinging it wide again, the danger man Herbert, easily past Hoft. Here's Mortlock again. And Marshall manages to get in the road this time.
Well, it's intensity plus, isn't it? Australia seeming to find a man in space with relative ease. Such a confident, clever side. And that's Mortlock. Well tackled, I thought, by Cullen here.
Must come down first.
And of course the support was equalled by the New Zealanders. John Eales, what a wonderful lock forward and winner of possession he's been for Australia.
Williams is the target. Kefu, number 19, driving off him. 6 or 7 metres short as Gregan feeds it off. Breaks down this time, and Maxwell has regained possession. All Blacks had an overlap, but Mertens opted to kick. And skillful play by Latham. If he can keep this in, oh dear, now the call.
So it'll be back to the scrum perhaps.
Option.
Kicking the ball dead, of course, from field of play.
Option. Option. Scrum or scrum.
Well, that was a great skillful little exercise by Latham, because really the kick from Mertens was landing beyond his grasp, and he speculated it ahead twice. That one too long, of course. So New Zealand with a scrum very close to the touchline means there's only one option. It's open side.
Too far. Come in.
Well, I guess the other option is for Mertens to kick the touch, which will concede the line-out throw. And I'm not sure whether that's prudent.
Very interesting first 14 minutes. The All Blacks have had a lot of ball, but very little of it inside the Australian 22.
He's okay.
Marshall, now the kick does come from Mertens. Didn't strike it that well. It'll sit up eventually for Joe Roff. Met head on by Umaga. And big, powerful defence.
Well, that's exactly what New Zealand wanted. Mertens not trying to kick it into touch, trying to keep it in play with the ability to either set up a ruck in this position here, drive the man into touch perhaps, which is what happened. And now New Zealand throw. A chance to relieve perhaps from inside their territory.
Ball must come in, all right? Leave him, 2. Leave him.
Lineouts were a problem in Sydney for the All Blacks, and another one snaffled by the Wallabies in the form of John Eales. Here's Herbert, oh, smashing straight into Mertens, who goes reeling back.
Get on!
5 out from the 22, right in centre field for Gregan. Larkham on for Jason Little. Eales is right there with him. Now it's Larkham again. Kefu. Trib off to Latham, who's up in the line. They keep it going. Larkham. Joe Roth for the corner. They've got another one. The wingers have got them both.
It's like repeating the first try, another exceptional try, created steadily, breaking the advantage line 3 occasions, and the support play. There he is, shrugging the last tackle. Joe Roth, what a footballer.
Well, Murray, the key to this is the change of angles, and you're right. The Wallabies were able to break in behind. You could just see Latham there coming off the shoulder, changing the angle, getting in behind. And here it is again. It's Larkham goes in, and it was Roth who changed the angle, beat the tackle. The Wallabies are running into space, not at the man at present.
Well, they're so creative, and they are a handful when they have the ball in hand. Very competent, very confident with the ball in hand, their support play. And as you say, Greg, their angles make the defence so much more difficult. Tremendous rugby side we're watching here. 2 tremendous sides. It'll be very interesting to see if New Zealand can come back like Australia did at Homebush Stadium.
Hoping to bring it around, but not able to do that. But Joe Roth gets the second try for Australia, and the crowd are rather stunned by this, just as the Stadium Australia crowd was stunned 3 weeks ago.
John Eales, it all started when he stole the New Zealand line-out.
It's there for the All Blacks. It's been knocked on by the Wallabies. So now they have some sort of field position. The All Blacks tipped on for Lamu. Therefore, the captain, Todd Blackadder, to set it again. Mertens for Alatini. Umaga! 22-metre line with some forward momentum now, the All Blacks. Looking blindside with Alatini. Lamu again.
15 metres out.
Best chance the All Blacks have had so far. Umaga goes again. Referee playing an advantage. Mertens for Cribb. The kick for Cullen. Brilliant.
Well, the crowd say it all. There's so much noise here. I can't hear my own voice. Well, that is music to my ears to see our number 8 with those sort of skills, Ron Cribb. Well, Tana Umaga making the initial break. He's a handful. This man couldn't get the pass away, but they retained possession well. A great sequence of play. Here's the last little department. Have a look at Cribb. Towed it through, end on end. You beauty. And Christian Cullen, he just keeps on dotting them down.
He sure does. That's 38 tries now in Test rugby for Christian Cullen. 1 short of Jeff Wilson. And the All Blacks, well, they had to hit back.
It's the only way to answer, isn't it? An Australian team that was almost, well, I wouldn't say running rampant, but certainly scoring all the points. What a goal kicker, Andrew Mertens. So that makes it very interesting now, 12 points to 7. And that'll give them some confidence. It'll give everybody in the crowd a lift too.
And Murray, it's about taking the right options, isn't it? And that was the right option. Cullen was marked, and Cribb had the skills to capitalise on that.
Larkham makes the restart. Oliver to claim it. Sets it for Justin Marshall. Mertens, skillful little kick. Mertens looking to regain. He can't get it. And it falls for Jim Williams. That could have gone anywhere as it's brought away by Gregan. Latham got through the first tackle of Tane Randalls. Now Michael Foley.
See, that was incredible tackling, wasn't it? And they still kept the ball.
Williams is wide, but the All Blacks are up very smartly.
Almost driving the Australians backwards.
Last line, 7 leave it, 7.
Herbert coming on a run, but he had to slow, lost his momentum.
Now it's behind the advantage line, but the ball's coming back. Offensive defense so vital in this game now.
The little kick through is proving to be of great benefit in this game, and he's got Alama Iramia for putting the shoulder in late.
So the little kick and a slightly late charge was the call. The crowd didn't like it, but I think it was fair.
Just ahead. Let's play, let's play.
So Latham kicking to touch for line out to Australia. Deep on attack. Well, they'll be very keen to score again, to just to widen that gap a little bit, Grant.
Well, we thought this would be a tight duo game. 3 tries in the first 20 minutes.
Just stay in there, stay in.
Foley looking for Eels. Finds him again, now Gregan. Daniel Herbert. Again he does it. And then he got hit in a classic tackle. And here come the All Blacks with Justin Marshall.
Well, it's a great counter-attack, but it all happened because of a big tackle.
Mertens again. Here's the little chip through once more. Iramia tackle without the ball. They'll get the advantage here. Tronfeld looking blindside. And the penalty.
Well, I wonder whether we could see how it is down on the touchline. Smithy.
Tackle without the ball.
Well, the atmosphere is unbelievable, Murray. I'll tell you, just reiterating the difficult wind conditions. That was a magnificent conversion by Mertens, but they're having all sorts of problems, the line kickers and the goal kickers, judging the breeze.
See, that was the tackle then we saw of Lomu driving Herbert back, which forced the knock forward. The scrum wasn't taken, of course, because this very competent referee, Jonathan Kaplan, played the advantage. Lord Marshall broke away, and this is the end result. New Zealand ball about 38 metres out.
Last 3.
An opportunity to have a look at the stats of the game online. There's the website for you as Anton Oliver finds Tane Randall.
Beautiful ball to the back of the line out, giving some space.
Here they are, some intricate moves. Aaron Malista,
Classic.
That equals the record. That's absolutely brilliant again.
Well, set the world alight, why don't you? They're certainly doing that at the Westpac Trust Stadium here in Wellington. Who would have believed we could have had a game to rival Homebush, and we certainly have. We've seen some glorious tries to date in this game. Well, here it is here. What a work, what a move. So many different directions and angles, and Umaga, of course, with a flat-footed opponent to beat. Drew the last man, absolutely beautiful, and through to Christian Cullen. Coops, give us a hand on this one.
Well, the Australians are known as the masters of manipulation, but the pupils here have taught the masters a lesson. That is superb. The intricate move in midfield.
Well, I couldn't help but see the reaction from the normally phlegmatic Christian Cullen. We saw emotion, expression, delight in his face.
It's the record equaling try. He goes to 39 to join Jeff Wilson.
Just the ball, just the ball.
The brilliant Christian Cullen. And the All Blacks with the conversion are ahead by 14 to 12. Andrew Mertens Mertens has kicked 4 points today. He's closing in on Grant Fox, but the Wallabies have this penalty right in front.
So here it is. Australia with another 3 points.
Wallabies back in front. The lead for the All Blacks was short-lived, but what a test this has been already. Sterling Mortlock brings up 100 points in test matches in just his 6th international. Mertens. Nicely claimed by David Giffen. Larkham with the clearing kick. Lomu is hovering back.
Check the counter-attack here.
Lomu and Cullen, what a combination. They've got a bit to do though. Umanga's got back to help out. He makes the break. What a game he's having. Kronfeld knocked down. It was knocked back, in fact, by the Wallabies.
But it's a turnover just the same.
Daniel Herbert, he's been a danger man with 2 clean breaks in the match so far.
Last line.
Larkham with the in pass. All Blacks expecting that. And yes, Joe Roth held on for too long.
On his feet. In your own time.
The player on his feet has all the rights, and Joe Roth just hung on a little bit too long.
Well, I've admired that footballer, Joe Roth, and I can't believe that he's played all those tests in his bone, and he's only 24 years of age.
Yes, incredible record. He just held on. You can see there, those All Black players who are standing have the right to go for the ball immediately.
And it was Alama Ramir coming away with it at the end.
Now this is a very big kick, Murray, because if he lands it, Andrew Mertens will become the highest point scorer in the history of New Zealand Test Rugby. He's scored 4 so far today. Grant Fox is the record holder.
It's a difficult kick.
Looks like it's away to the left. We'll have to wait a wee while. And Latham to force, and the restart will come from the 22.
Well, we noticed earlier in the day when the kickers were out there practicing their kicks, the wind is swirling a bit here inside the stadium. Of course, the architect tells us 65% of the wind is deflected off the roof. Whether that's a reality or not, I'm not sure.
Mertens hands off to Umanga. Cullen. Support from Kronfeld. Umanga, great hands. Oliver to carry on. Snapped up by Maxwell. And they've set it again.
Oh, pass off his knees.
Here's Cribb. Cribb with good acceleration. And knocked down firstly by the Wallabies, it would seem. Yes, it is.
Well, Ron Cribb having the power to break through, but I like the way the All Black players, all of them, are half breaking a tackle and getting the pass away in the tackle, which in effect creates a break. Bernie's corner. Bernie, you've been relegated, old chap. My old friend, it's now Jonah's corner, and rightfully so. New breed, new stadium.
Eremia nudges through. Here comes Jonah. And in the end, it's Latham who runs it out.
Latham getting away with it.
Just take a break. Just open, just open. Just take a break.
Now, touch judge Rob Dixon of Scotland has come in to say something.
I don't know by which number though. Penalty here, just for the ball landed.
15 metres in.
15 in, penalty to the Blacks.
To the Blacks, okay. There's a Black player taken out without the ball, pulling man without the ball penalty.
So let's see if we can pick it up. The little kick from Uramir was a good one, end over end. And maybe it was Uramir taken out. We couldn't quite see, but it looked like he was taken out. So rather similar penalty previously to the Australians at the other end of the track.
So Andrew Mertens, a much more advantageous position, this one. Grant Fox, 645 test points. in 46 test matches. Andrew Mertens now with the opportunity to go past that mark.
So Smithy, is there a bit of wind down there? He definitely pulled that a bit though.
Yeah, I think it's giving both of them real problems. We saw Mortlock's first effort too was way to the left, and on that occasion it just looked to me as if he snatched at the ball a wee bit, maybe anxious about the record, maybe anxious about the conditions. It's not easy though, Murray.
They go short. Larkham, clever play. Dragged down by Kronfeld, carried on by David Wilson. Williams driven back in the tackle. Play on, said the referee, and the All Blacks have turned this.
Well, crucial turnovers, aren't they?
Randall brings it away as the sun comes through. Off to Mertens. Again, they go with a little kick. Here's a chance for Jason Little.
And who was that but Todd Blackadder to pull off the covering tackle?
Now Gregan, wide for Joe Roth. Game soaring up and down the park. Gregan again for Larkin. Back again for Jason Little. Gregan on the in-pass. Roth, 22-metre line. Little once more, off to Kefu. And Fletcher Dyson can't hang on, so they play the advantage again.
It's a knock-on, definitely. Looking for the advantage. It's a matter of how long this advantage law is played.
Mertens clears from the Maxwell pass. The referee sees no advantage there and brings them back for the scrum.
So in other words, he's come right back for the very first infringement. That's Alatini outside him. Uramir, Lomu. Well, they've got a handful to stop these guys when they've got the ball. So see Australia turning that scrum a little bit. Probably aware of that big blind side.
Stay in on the hit.
If you promote, of course, your loose head, Australia's loose head, that turns the scrum, makes it very hard for Cribb to detach. So really, if the scrum stays straight, I'd be looking for Cribb detaching and coming around.
Get back. No. Yes, play.
Marshall wants to go smartly. Off to Carl Hoft. Here's Case Mews. He's got a good turn of pace for a big man.
Yes, he did well, didn't he? Broke the tackle, but I don't think they'll be happy with him going into touch because, of course, that gives the line-out throw to Australia. But good to see Mews running onto the ball. He's saying, stop me if you can. Keeps the legs pumping. He now sights a touchline and thinks, I'm in trouble here. And he tried to release the ball so that he wasn't in touch. The main man in the line-out, John Eales.
Michael Foley looking for Eales deep. Not a good throw. A one for the All Blacks against the throw. Randall charges towards the 10-metre line. Mertens in pass to Mews.
It's good to see Mews again in support.
Coming again for Justin Marshall. On the inside to Maxwell. The Aussies claiming it was forward. Jonathan Kaplan said no, it wasn't. Again on the inside. Marshall hesitating slightly. Eramir straightens. Feeds Kronfeld, linking well. Lomu bounces out of a few of them. Now they go blindside again. Marshall.
Beautifully done by Marshall.
Eramir showed good hands too. Here they go. Alatini. Thrilling test.
Isn't it a pleasure to watch such dynamic play? Both backlines so dangerous with the ball, so creative. Marshall saw the pass was covered there and went on the inside and still kept the ball alive.
And that's why you can see it change for the Wallabies. He's got the ball in his hand. Jeremy Paul on in jersey 22 for Michael Foley.
Well, his mobility, I guess, has brought him on so early. It's probably sooner than one would have thought. Although, wow, look at the clock. I see 34 minutes. Time goes so quick when we have a test like this.
Big change by Rod McQueen. Normally makes it at half-time. Gregan across for Jason Little again. Now Gregan, that's a rare kick from George Gregan.
Well, it shows the pressure mounting, of course. Gregan happy to take the 30-odd metres. He's a great player, this. He's such a facilitator for this Australian side. Just keeping the play in motion. Perpetual motion.
Murray also maybe kicked because he backs his side to steal this one back.
You think so? That's a big call, Smithy. Let's have a look at this line out. Are you trying to put the heat on the New Zealand jumpers?
Just the ball, just the ball.
Randall didn't have to do much jumping. 10-metre line, Wallabies territory. Kronfeld.
Oh, accidentally offside. That's
an effect.
He was correct, actually. Kaplan was correct. You could just see it, although I think it was a bit tough. Okay, so there's a lot of decoys here, and Randall knew he was going to get the ball unopposed, so he didn't jump. Obviously, if he jump in the air, then there's more time wasted. He wanted to catch the ball and move over the advantage line as soon as possible. Now that's interesting. Equally decisive on the penalty. The penalty I thought was tough to start with, and that was an equally tough penalty on the Australians, so I guess it's even Stevens.
All Blacks organising themselves. Great attacking position here. Centre field. Marshall for Carl Hoft.
Hold there.
Now Mertens. Kronfeld, who's had a lot of the ball to play with in this game. Mertens shovels onto Alatini. Lovely step, as he's so capable of doing. Mertens
going for the crash. That's unusual.
Marshall straight up the middle.
What's the turnover? So the turnover came from a hand on the deck, and that was picked up by the touch judge. Is that Ed Morrison down there?
Yes.
Yeah. The best way of destroying a game of rugby, make Ed Morrison the referee. I thought that was a desperate performance last week. South Africa versus Australia. He controlled the game. He was the #1 man on the field. What a tragedy.
And that is the record breaker for Andrew Mertens.
Well, he's a magnificent footballer, Andrew Mertens. Absolutely superb, I think, his contribution. Look at the concentration on his face.
Yes, a fabulous goal kick, Andrew Mertens. And you're quite right, Murray. Look at the rhythm there. Very smooth, good follow-through, and a great result.
So it didn't go 10, but Kronfeld played it anyway, so play carries on. All Blacks are happy to take the possession, but now they've got to get it down onto the ground. It's been ripped away, so there was no advantage for the All Blacks at all. Kefu off to Wilson. Advantage is over. Referee was playing it, and there's going to be another penalty.
Last line, doesn't matter, ruck's formed.
Well, that's a twist of fate.
Just...
Well, the unflappable Todd.
Get back, please. Nothing happening there. Just keep your nose out of it.
Conceded 10 metres.
Chance now for Sterling Mortlock to put the Wallabies back in front as we close in on half-time. One-point lead for the Wallabies. Mortlock kicks his second penalty, 18-17. Not much different to Sydney when they were level, remember, at half-time. Oliver, good work by the All Blacks from the kick-off.
They want some continuity here to score some points before the break to go into the half with a lead.
Alatini makes the burst near the 22.
Well, this is the one, maybe Mertens with a drop kick.
Shifts it on.
Oh, they're going for the try.
Maxwell, referee playing advantage, and it's right out in centre field.
Well, it's exactly what they wanted.
Got to stay the blind side. Marshall.
I'd say they should take the penalty, shouldn't they?
Let's wait and see. Umaga feeds it on. Mertens. Cullen, they're still playing advantage.
Well, advantage. Well, I would say that's very liberal use of the advantage law, because that is a long time to play the advantage. Admittedly, Kaplan made his decision and called out advantage still.
Mertens makes the kick, and that is the end of quite a sensational first half. It saw the Wallabies get away to a 12-0 lead. The All Blacks fought back, and at the break, they lead by 2.
After the whistle, in your own time, in your own time. Stand
by for a brilliant final 40 minutes in this test as Mertens goes long, too long.
By a whisker. Even so, it's a bad mistake.
Nisbo, just to clarify, it seems that the Williams replacement may well be a blood bin. Keep an eye on that one.
Okay.
So Jonathan Kaplan talking about the props putting their hand on the deck just like that one you saw. Often they do it for the initial hit.
Kefu off the back of the scrum. Latham, and the little nudge through has been so effective in this game so far, but this time pushed it towards touch. Jonathan Kaplan thinks this is a Wallaby ball, but I suspect not.
Well, Latham putting the kick through, it didn't look like it hit anybody.
Take a step, please. Take a step.
Ed Morrison across on the far side. You saw that it was off the boot of Latham. That's a bad throw first up from Oliver. All Blacks still haven't got those lineouts dead right. Jeremy Paul, who came on with 6 minutes remaining in the first half, places it for Gregan. Larkham now. Oh, dear me. Welcome to the field, Ben June.
Well,
Jonah hits him with everything. Alatini.
I'd say he hit him with everything and more. Well, that's a great tackle by the Australians going forward. And it's a turnover.
Stolen by Jeremy Paul.
Well, 1 for 1.
What a start to the second half. So away it goes. Alatini hits John Eales with everything. That's a crunching tackle.
Referee playing advantage. Here it is.
John Eales. He's not that well either, John Eales. Cullen. Ferocious tackling at the start of the second half.
Release him. Tackler. That's fine.
Andrew Mertens pushing for the sideline, and well, the talking point so far, Ben Toon has only been on the park a minute. Look at this. Oh, take that.
Well, welcome back, but didn't he do well to place the ball? But Jonas stepped up off the deck to pick it up.
Ben Toon was a bit critical of Jonah Lomu in the press, and Lomu has replied. Marshall across for Mertens. Alatini. Here he goes again. Takes 3 or 4 of them to get him. Now it's freed up for Mertens on the inside for Blackadder. Carried on by Case Muse. Tane Randall has a go. Now Marshall off to Cronfeld. Marshall gets it back. Wallaby defence holding.
Get inside.
Short from Oliver to Randall. All Blacks rolling forward with Umanga. Lomu there to help out. Justin Marshall looking up at the referee. Now Andrew Mertens. Strong defence again by the Wallabies. All Blacks struggling to get past the 22. Tana Umanga wants the ball. Hands it off to Todd Blackadder. Looking to free it quickly. Now Umanga. He's a real danger man in those situations. Marshall frees it up for Mertens. Lomu. Gregan goes low. Stolen by Larkham. And he'll be disappointed with the result. Kicked it out.
What an incredible period of play. One thing that I did notice was that the All Blacks when the player drives, there's 2 or 3 men that are very, very keen to drive on him. So in other words, it's almost a driving maul, I guess, and it's instantaneous. It means that the opposition has to gather support behind that position and try and equal it, try and slow them up. Well, there's certainly intensity, isn't there, throughout this game. But it was a barrage of attack from New Zealand. And of course, the Australian defence held, and finally Larkham relieved pressure.
Tipped by Blackadder. Alatini holds it up. Eremia was on the dummy run. Now Umaga, and it was just in front of Lomu, who didn't look as though he was quite with the move.
No, it was a pretty confusing move. I didn't know where it was going. And maybe Jonah hadn't heard the call, but have a look at this. Alatini being the playmaker, well, Mertens in fact. Yes, it was just the last pass, I think, was just a little bit in front. But such is the ability of the Australian defence to gather around where the ball is. New Zealand is forced to be really creative and quite complex.
Number one, come with me. Come with me.
Anton Oliver went reeling back there.
Well, obviously something happened deep in the dark depths of the front row in Nisbo.
On my call. Watch and hold. You go.
But it's happened before and it'll happen again, no doubt.
Larkham. Little, Fortune, smashed by Eremia. Wallabies, though, in control of it with Todai Kefu. That's the 10-metre line on the All Black territory. And a turnover here. Marshall frees it up for Cribb.
Oh, turnover again.
Snapped up by Daniel Herbert. Eels slips it. 10 out from the 22. Latham wasn't expecting it. Now Ben Choon, he's been hitting some big tackles. There's another one.
But still retaining possession, Australia.
So Gregan feeds Larkham once more. Maxwell tries to nail Little, but he got through it. And then they lost it.
Well, that's a great looking hand, isn't it? I wonder where that person comes from. Well, that's Ben Choon in the wars again. 3 big tackles on this man. He'll know he's back in the game. I dare say he's the sort of bloke that can handle it, though.
Outstanding player. Plagued by injury. Cribb tries to slip away from Gregan. Not able to get away.
There's an example of a number 8 running onto the ball on the ground, if you can understand me.
Mertens with the clearance, getting excellent distance. Latham will have to kick this. He's got nobody back in support.
And content seemingly to kick it to touch. Precisely because of the fact that he had no support. I wonder if he wrote the sign.
Well, within 6 or 7 minutes of finishing Walsing Matilda the other day, the All Blacks are up 21-0. Maybe they should reinstitute it. Going short for Oliver to bring it out.
Free kick, not in 5. Didn't go 5. In your own time.
Quickly taken by Jeremy Paul. He's got a good turn of pace. Chased down by Blackadder, but he beats him. Umaga, that was a run of 30 metres by Jeremy Paul. So Gregan frees it up for Larkham. Straight across to Jason Little.
Such a crucial stage in this game. The next team that scores takes an advantage.
Here is Jeremy Paul again. John Eales on the end of the pass. Now Gregan to Larkham. Not such a flash pass, but David Wilson has it on the 22. David Giffen sets it once more. All Blacks, their turn to defend. Nudge through. Latham coming quickly. And Cullen could have gone anywhere, but Christian Cullen had it covered. Marshall unleashes the big dropout.
Well, not normally Marshall's forte, the drop kick, but he seized the situation. He sized up the situation and took the opportunity.
Jeremy Paul short to Giffen. Paul again for Gregan. Oh dear, not such a good pass, but Daniel Herbert does well to scoop it up. Gregan looks about. Larkham doing a fair bit of kicking as the All Black defence comes up very flat. Maxwell wants it quickly. Carried on by Carl Hoft. Marshall for Mertens. Eremia's wide. Cullen slips it beautifully. Umaga. And it's a forward pass. The pass from Cullen was ruled forward.
Tremendous movement though, a double round, and the pass and the tackle.
Yes, it did look forward, didn't it? And but you're right, Murray. Tremendous move, and again, it's the angled run of Umaga that gets the or catches the opposition defence out.
Stay down, seven.
Here come the Wallabies again. Sterling Mortlock.
Well, he certainly did go over the top and kill the ball.
Well, there's certainly no complaints about the refereeing performance of Jonathan Kaplan. He was outstanding in Super 12, and he has pretty much got it right so far this afternoon.
Yes, I think he's definitely the big mover and shaker as far as South African referees are concerned. He obviously had potential when he started, but he's had a great game so far to date. He's been strict enough to keep the finger on play, but he's also been liberal enough to allow the game to evolve. And I think that's so vital, particularly at international level. Don't try and take the steam out of the match by refereeing, let the players do it.
All Blacks not challenging in the line-out, as again it's Giffen. Paul tries to make a metre or so. Regan chased down by Randall. Good tackle by Kronfeld. Snapped up by Cribb now. Eremia. He's got the speedsters with him. Cullen took a while to drag it in. Umaga has it, and the All Blacks still in possession. Slips it, does Marshall to Kronfeld. They need to reset. Mertens shifting wide for Cribb. Oliver. Again, it's Randall. Cribb is there to help out. Blackadder shifts it on for Maxwell.
Maxwell going for the dummy.
It's there again for Justin Marshall. Eremia, who made the initial burst. No gaps there, though. Trapped near their 10-metre line. Mertens on the inside. Almost. Pops it. Oliver. 10 out from the 22. Marshall. And the Wallabies a mile offside.
Well, a mile offside and perhaps the hint of a professional foul.
Thank you, I've got it. Five. Let go. Okay, I've got it.
Come away.
No, leave it. Please go to your side.
Well, this will be interesting because it's a certain 3 points at this stage to New Zealand, but there's a possibility of it being reversed depending on who this man, Ed Morrison, feels was the culprit.
From either side, just having a dust-up. Georgie Griffin ran in, nothing to do with him. He didn't need to be part of it. Give him a serious bollocking and give the initial penalty where you were. You were bang on. Thank you.
Well, you heard it, a serious bollocking. What does that mean?
He's going to tell him off, man.
I've got it. 5. Okay, you two. Just a bit of a scrap going on. According to the touch judge, nothing in it. You two can go. Just keep your nose clean. You've got no business to be in that situation, and you've come in and dished. Just listen. That's the penalty is the original penalty because it's in a better position. But you be careful. You're on a caution, okay?
George Gregan's very happy with that result. I think he thought for a moment this is yellow card stuff.
Have a look at the skills and the combination of this play. Uramir kept the ball long enough for Cullen to get in support. He nearly dropped it, which is unusual, but see him move it on to Umaga. It was almost telepathic. So Uramir, the pass, Cullen the fumble, and then look at this, pushing it to his good mate, Tana Umaga, who got blown over ball and all, but then the New Zealand support came.
Well, all that was happening, they were working furiously on Josh Kronfeld on his left knee. There's a hint that there may be some blood involved at the moment. Ruben Thorne is on, the jersey 19.
Now John Eales down towards Lomu, and the game's still on. 10-metre line as Mark Connors makes the tackle.
You're on, hold this, 10.
Alatini feeds off to Muse. He's got it up really high here. He'll need to get it down shortly as the All Blacks now control it. Alatini for Mertens. Tripp looking to slip it wide to Cullen, just overran him, and the ball is back on the Wallaby side. Mertens getting back from the Latham kick. Latham's closing him down smartly. Mertens is going to head out to centre field. Oh!
Well, that was superb play by Andrew Mertens. He anticipated the kick. He knew that Christian Cullen was out of position, and he ran back desperately. And then the kick came from his great foe, of course, Stephen Larkham, who followed up. Mertens chose to try and beat him, and there he is right there beating him. And then he took off, and all of a sudden he thought, hello, I've got 3 men to beat here. No chance, and he drove, set it up, just trying to get over that advantage line. Well, where is the advantage line from sort of 60 metres? Who would know? But really, it was a great effort. Ron Cribble, he's made his mark for sure.
You'll notice too that Tane Randall, I beg your pardon, is on the open side with Kronfeld not there. Here come the All Blacks again. Lomu. Umaga frees it up for Mertens. Taking on the defence today, Andrew Mertens. Knocked down by the Wallabies. And in fact, it was firstly lost forward by the All Blacks.
Well, it's still, who would believe, it's still 20 points to 18. 17 minutes into this second half, which has been pulsating. But what a great position Australia find themselves in here to attack. But have a look at this. Look at the Australian backs on both sides. Not giving away any secrets to New Zealand. See how they're stacked behind each other? So how would you defend against this?
Gregan away to Jason Little. Couldn't deliver the pass. He would have thrown it forward.
Ooh, so close to a turnover there. In fact, there it is.
Drop the ball. Play.
So in other words, because that hand, and I think it was Oliver's hand, I may be wrong there, was over the top from New Zealand trying to pull the ball back. The Australian man in possession holding on to the ball until his support arrived.
Kick from Mertens is not out. So Latham, as Mertens goes in to make the tackle, now it's Mark Connors, who surprisingly didn't make the starting lineup, as the Wallabies have it in possession in New Zealand territory. Gregan across for Larkham. Little is hounded by Alatini. Gregan heaves it out to John Eales. Change of direction again. Larkham is nailed. On the New Zealand side. Cullen to Maxwell. Mertens. Lomu. What a tackle by David Wilson. All those years of experience. And David Wilson, one-on-one with Jonah, lowers him in a copybook tackle. Play to continue. To the back it goes. Thorne cleverly tips it to Alatini. Near the 10-metre line and held on to by an Australian player on the ground. Richard Harry it is. And Andrew Mertens, who has this ankle problem, is going to be asked now to kick for goal. Beautifully judged.
Well, not so tough for New Zealand's highest point scorer. I just wonder, though, how good his ankle is.
Larkham short, Alatini wasn't able to control it, so Sterling Mortlock has it for Todai Kefu. Wallabies hitting back almost immediately with Eels into the gap. They're only 15 metres out here. It bounces for Gregan. Little. Kefu once more. Gregan playing advantage. All Blacks offside. Mark Connors. Now George Gregan. The advantage still applies. And he'll go back. And this is a penalty right in front.
Well, I think that equals up. That's all we ever ask of referees, consistency. And I think that equals up the move just before half-time, where he played very liberal length of time of the advantage law.
So, Sterling Mortlock.
Yes, kicking right out of the Phillips signage on the pitch.
Back to the 2-point advantage now for the All Blacks. That's where we were at half-time. Williams is on and Kefu is out. Brown going straight down to Jim Williams. Gregan onto the favoured left boot of Chris Latham. Thrilling test match in Wellington, the first at the new stadium. 16 minutes left.
So back to halfway. New Zealand ball using all the options, lots of different jumpers so far today.
Well, that's a dreadful throw. That's nowhere near straight.
Yes, and Jonathan Kaplan not standing in a good position to see that, so he looked back to his touch judge to see whether it was straight.
Okay, just break up, son.
Well, Murray, here's an interesting change for the All Blacks. Wonder whether Wayne Smith's going for combinations here, because he's making the change at half-back. And Justin Marshall will be replaced by Byron Kelleher.
Well, it's significant, isn't it? Because these two play together, of course. Kelleher. Marshall's had a great game, in my opinion. One of the best I've seen. He's back to his best. He's been so dominant around the scrum. His defence has been huge also. Like a fourth loose forward.
Kelleher against Gregan now. Gregan off to Larkham. Herbert tries to bust in midfield. They've got him up off the ground here. So the Wallabies have to free it up, and they do it cleverly. Little punching in behind Umaga. Umaga and Cullen ran it back inside the 22, or threw it away, and this time it doesn't work.
Exactly.
David Giffen has been pretty much the target man in this Australian lineout. Taking the All Blacks right down to within 10 metres. Gregan, Larkham. Flat to Tune, heaving it on. Now Tune's got it, and they've thrown it forwards.
Well, the defence was stretched. If the pass had been good, it would have been interesting. There's a little bit of cover coming across for New Zealand. Let's have a little look on a replay. Yes, the pass there would have given him an opportunity, but I think really Callan had it covered.
Engage.
So this is difficult for Byron Kelleher, straight on the field. I thought he'd have to throw the big pass from underneath the sticks, but I think that was the wise move.
Now he passes it away to his Otago teammate, Tony Brown, and successfully cleared by Brown. Coming down towards the last 10 minutes. Another thrilling contest. Again, Giffen. Gregan flat to Little. Back again for Larkham. Herbert on the run. Tune. Dragged down by Eremia. Stolen by Reuben Thorne. What good work.
Yes, it was great work by Reuben Thorne. Quality stuff.
Kelleher does it himself. Latham. Into the arms of Lomu. Maxwell's first man up. Now it's Cribb. Just on Australian territory.
Could be a turnover, is it? No. So we couldn't see it from here, but Cribb must have lost the ball as he went in.
Changing the All Black front row. Carl Hoff making way for Craig Dowden, jersey 21.
Come with me, come with me.
A veteran of Bledisloe Cup test matches, Craig Dowd is on.
Just come with me. On me. Keep your hand up.
Had a little casual conversation with Craig Dowd the other day, and he's delighted to be involved in this growing team.
Wallabies having a crack at the defence was Larkham. It closed quickly, the gap did. Play on. It's on the All Black side. Well, he said leave it. And they didn't leave it.
So Larkham going in with the ball, planting it beautifully. Well, there it was stolen by the New Zealand player. And then, yes, well, the referee was saying leave it goal because the player lying on the deck I couldn't see. It was a numberless player, I think, so it might have been Mark Connors. Jim Williams must have been playing the ball when he's lying on the deck. The referee clearly said leave it, because the New Zealand player had stolen the ball.
Well, interesting here that the All Blacks have a throw to the line out, and it will be Mark Hammett making the throw. Will it or not? No, Anton Oliver's gone for the ball. The cards were up. Oliver stays.
Thank you.
So the referee asking who is on the field, which number 2?
Oliver has a reprieve.
Well, it's a crucial throw. New Zealand would like this ball deep on attack.
Beautifully claimed by Maxwell. Kelleher for Tony Brown. Alatini slipping through the half gap. Kelleher works it up for Reuben Thorne. Lays it again for Kelleher. Brown. Tane Randall. Ball knocked forward by Australia, or knocked out of the tackle anyway. But it's play on. Alatini again. Eremia. There it is again for Tony Brown. Here's the call from Maxwell. Away for Brown once more. Cullen to Cribb. Flicks it to Cullen. And Mortlock comes up with a big tackle. And Cullen realises the importance of it too.
Well, he did enjoy it though, but it's tremendous to see once again. I mentioned it, Ron Cribb having the ability to play with the backs as a back.
Troy Flavel is the only substitute. Oh, and Liam McDonald, of course. The All Blacks have a couple in reserve. Deep inside the 22. Larkham fires it across to Latham. Nudged ahead by Herbert, and he puts it out. And that really was a nothing move that's given the All Blacks the ball.
But it's a great signal and compliment to New Zealand defence. As the ball was kicked in the touch, several spectators stood up and pushed their arms in the air because really they are struggling in the back line to break the advantage line or break the All Black backline defence.
Mark Hammett's first throw. It goes to Maxwell. It was supposed to go to Blackadder, but it doesn't matter too much. Brown to Lomu. Sets it up nicely in centre field for Kelleher to feed off to Tony Brown. Very nearly slipped through, and the ball lost forwards. Brown prepared to have a crack at the defence.
Well, I think that'd be his middle name, wouldn't it? Tony have a crack Brown. Well, we saw where he lost the ball, and Umaga goes through, scoops it up with one hand. Well, the Australian line just holding, no more.
Larkham. Herbert is held again. 15 metres from their own goal line here, the Wallabies, reluctant to kick it away. Wide for Latham. And that's a very good clearance. Somebody had to do it, really. And the Wallabies have it back in All Black territory. Everything up for grabs. Hammett for Blackadder. The old Crusaders combination coming to the fore. Twisting and turning from Ron Cribb. Cleared by Kelleher for Brown. Alatini. Eremia decides to hang on. Ball is there. Well, he held on to it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a ruck or not. He's holding the ball on the deck.
So there's only 2 points in this game today. This is definitely kickable.
Huge kick here for Sterling Mortlock. Pushed it wide. 23-21. The All Blacks hanging on.
So this is going to be an interesting 22 dropout with just a few minutes left. 2 or 3 perhaps on the clock. Tony Brown kicking off, so important for New Zealand to recover possession.
Good distance from Brown, down as far as Ben Tune. They'll meet him in Australian territory, and Tane Randall thumps him to the ground. Nicely placed for Gregan. Larkham. Herbert hit strongly by Alatini. Oh, that's terrific defence from Peter Alatini.
Yes, I get the feeling that every heart on that field, every heart with a black jersey is giving all. Have a look at the way he was hit. Daniel Herbert by Alatini, just driving him in a touch. Of course, that forces a line-out New Zealand ball, so in effect, that's a turnover.
And this by the Australian substitutions keep me guessing. Joe Roth, believe it or not, is back on the park now in jersey 11 from Sterling Mortlock.
Well, that's another funny one, isn't it? Did he have a blood bin too, Smithy? Let's not worry too much about it. As Brown punches it down behind Roth. Oh, that's terrific from Tony Brown. Now Roth, what's he going to do? Nailed by Brown on an excellent tackle. It's on the Australian side. And Larkham has to clear. Randall has stayed back.
So the confidence to counter-attack, don't kick it.
Randall powerfully towards the 10-metre line. Umaga. No try scored in the second half. It's just been a penalty apiece. Cullen steps up to the mark from fullback. Lays it back for Cribb. The black wave is up to the 22. Kelleher. Cullen for Umaga. Pass was thrown forward anyway, and Umaga couldn't hold it. Now the Wallabies with a chance with Roth. Nudged down by Kelleher.
Well, it's all happening. The turnover of possession. That's the excitement of it. So it's Australia ball. Very, very short. Short side.
Just seconds remaining. The Wallabies are still 70 metres away.
Come on, let's form. Here's the mark. Oh, no locks.
So, no option but to run this ball, Australia.
So here they come. Final throw of the dice. Little up for Herbert. Head on with Cullen. Larkham charged. Driven Brown. All Blacks looking to get there in numbers. Hitting it with everything.
Must be New Zealand ball. There could have easily been a penalty there too to New Zealand because the ball wasn't released and the two New Zealand players actually dragged him, ball and all. He still held on to possession. But in fairness to Jonathan Kaplan, he tripped over.
Terrific din in the stadium. 2 minutes to go, says Jonathan Kaplan.
Let's go, Black, let's go!
What a tremendous attacking position though. Big blindside. They'd have to go that way, wouldn't they? Unless the scrum, we see the scrum being turned already by Australia. Well, you'd have to have Cribb going off the back with Kelleher outside him. Yes, going the other way, in fact, using his number 6 to drive.
Off to Reuben Thorne.
There really needs to be momentum.
Diving, and not quite. Still there, though, for Tane Randall. Trade down, oh so close. Now they free it up for Brown. Alatini. Players out on their feet. Kelleher the long ball. Cullen for Umaga. Didn't make it.
Are you sure? Ball! Are you sure?
Wallabies take it quickly.
Backhand asking for full time. Interesting. The Wallabies taking a short kick, but paying the price. New Zealand defence gathered, drew them into touch, meaning New Zealand throw to the ball. To the line out.
Wayne Smith, he's come all the way down. 1 minute to go.
Don't have a heart attack, Wayne.
What a moment this is. Big throw for Mark Hammett. Oh, they've turned it. Wallabies have it through Mark Connors. So here's a chance. It's their last one. Larkham. And he puts it out. Jonathan Kaplan has a look at the watch. Still time remaining.
You've got to laugh. Even Jonathan Kaplan has a smile on his face. Everybody's screaming with a full-time whistle except the referee, and he is the sole judge of time.
The biggest line-out throw of the series. Josh Kronfeld's on his feet. He's on the sideline.
Just make sure the ball goes in, okay? Ball in first.
The heat is on.
They go short.
Australia.
Again, it's with the Wallabies. Herbert. Got to be careful here about the penalty. Jim Williams takes it in. Now, Joe Roth tries to go past Cullen. Oh, there's the penalty. There's the penalty.
Yes.
I think he was relieved to say that, John Eales will have a shot, thank you. Well, that was interesting because the ball was actually slipped forward by the Australian player and looked like it was going to be a turnover. And I just wonder what the referee's decision was on the penalty. However, it's history now.
How about this for stepping up to the mark? John Eales is going to take the kick himself.
Well, he has to because Sterling Mortlock's off the field, and I guess he's the only other goal kicker, recognised goal kicker. Joe Roth, perhaps, on occasions. Well, here it is. The last two lineouts for New Zealand throws were won by Australia.
This kick will decide the fate of the Bledisloe Cup. What a player, John Eales. His kick has retained the Bledisloe Cup.
Look at the excitement. Well, they're a great team, and it's been a great victory, no doubt about it. Well, John Eales, the pressure, the ability to concentrate, and he just kicked it straight through the centre. Have a look at him. He's delighted, and he's been a mighty man in this game. As I said, they won the last 2 lineouts on the New Zealand throw. That's pressure on the New Zealand lineout. Well, it's been a superb match. Every way but which way you want to look at it, it's been a great one. It's been some tremendous refereeing in this game. Jonathan Kaplan stepped up to the mark. It's been a wonderful game. Both teams fired everything they had. There were some magnificent tries in the first half and unbelievable intensity in the second half that captured everything that's good in rugby.
It was everything we expected it to be, and it came down in the end to John Eales, one of the great rugby players of history, to win it.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.